I was just considering something because there's a Bible verse and it talks about the moment that you begin to judge other people is the moment you set yourself as a judge and a judge of the law, not a doer of the law. That's paraphrased. And I was thinking about how often we do that, where something affects us, so then we use a certain guideline or legal law, whatever, to then judge other people to kind of prove, to show that we're in the right and they're in the wrong. It ends up being for selfish motives. It's a really interesting thing. So for an example, let's say I'm anxious, and this happens, I'm anxious to get somewhere. I become keenly aware in those moments who is blocking the left lane illegally. In the state of Texas, the left lane on the highway is to pass. It's a passing lane, right? So I begin to judge the person that's in that lane because my desire is to get where I want to go, and I'm anxious to get there. So because I'm anxious to get there, I'm keenly aware of how people are not in the right. It's interesting. And forget about driving for just a second. We do this like in everyday life. Like a spouse may think, and this is what I really believe, is that there's some part of our soul that's not made whole. And so we need something, or we feel like we're missing something, right? We haven't received something from God yet. And when we don't receive that, maybe from the other person, a spouse or family member or coworker, then what we do is we begin to become a judge of the other person, because we are now moving from a doer of the law, which is to love God, love his people, and all of that. And instead of doing that, instead of loving that person that's driving in the left lane, I'd rather be justified. And so I just wanted to talk about that for just a little bit, about how sometimes instead of judging people according to the law, when that comes to our mind and we become aware of it, is to become, in some sense, self-reflective. And I don't mean like stand in front of a mirror and try to see myself. I mean stand in front of the Lord and see him, and allow the light and truth to really become an avenue for our own growth, so that we can become doers of the word and the law, and not just judges of it. So be blessed. Let's be more self-aware in 2026. I've got several projects I'm working on. I'm looking at finding a job in marketing for a nonprofit. I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited about that. I'm working on a deodorant stick and a company, a health skincare line. I got to talk at my university, my alma mater, in front of a marketing class, so they can do a marketing plan for it. I've got another concept with a taco truck, and all these really creative. And just this morning, I was thinking about a tea I used to make that tastes sweet, but it has no sweetening whatsoever, and it's herbal and it's really good. I was like, man, the creative. There's so much God has for our creativity when we stop surviving and we allow God to work. And so I would say when we're in that state, we're not concerned about what other people aren't doing or should be doing. It's more about what God's doing in them and in us. Be blessed. And remember, as always, stay in form.